Let me ask you this with Charlie Kirk, because you're definitely one of the most outspoken people when it comes to the Charlie Kirk investigation and what's going on there. Obviously, you knew him personally. You guys have worked together for many years. I'll kind of just turn it to you, and you can just tell me, because you've been looking at this for a while now. It's almost it's over 2 months now. Can you take us through what you think happened on that day? What led you to believe that, and the timeline in general, who you think is actually responsible, who might be covering things up and everything like that?
Yeah, so I can tell you that I view the Charlie Kirk assassination as a military hit. I do not know who called the hit yet, but it's military. There's no question in my mind that it was a military.
Or foreign, or?
Well, I don't view the U.S. military as being controlled by the U.S. I mean, there are a lot of people, we've been globalized for a very long time. I don't know that there's decisions that are made in Ukraine for America. I mean, this is the tentacles of the U.S. military. It's a much broader and longer conversation that needs to be had. I mean, I think since JFK was assassinated, I don't know who's in control of anything, right? Much of what we see in the political realm is just an illusion. We're talking about what's happening in Congress, and decisions are made in boardrooms, in my view. With Charlie, I think that with everything that I have uncovered, there was very clearly a faith infiltration that happened. And I'm putting faith in quotation marks, because Charlie would have believed the people that came to him and told him to grow the organization and, to become the boots on the ground for faith. He cared very deeply about his faith. And the characters, the cast of characters and the pastors that are around him, rotten, like very rotten. The McCoys, Rob McCoy, unbelievably rotten. And I've been covering a lot with him. And what it's looking like is that Calvary Chapel has been accused of tons in the past, and also accused of hostilely taking over well-meaning faith organizations and ministries, with Rob McCoy at the center of some of these scandals. It's looking to me like Turning Point's apparatus provided an opportunity. Now, who they're actually working for, what they're actually doing, I don't know. But I can tell you it is not about Jesus Christ, okay?
Okay.
And this would explain why, for some unknown reason, Christian Zionist influencers have been losing their minds about the idea of investigating the Charlie Kirk assassination. It's odd. Like, I looked up and I'm going, why are Christian Zionists trying to use Bible verses to say that we shouldn't question anything? I mean, everybody knows you were a cop.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing you do when there's been a murder is to look around at the money, the finances, and the people around him. Common sense. Like, and then you pair that with the actual impossible things that they are telling us. It was a Christian miracle. His neck just stopped a 30-06 from 150 yards away. It was just your modern Christian miracle, That's Fed slop, but it's worse than that. It's Christian slop. People using the Bible to psychologically convince you, Jesus performed miracles, and this was just one of them. Charlie loved his faith. They're lying about weird stuff. I consider it a clue that they are lying about where Charlie was at in terms of his faith journey. They lied about the Hampton Summit. They lied about the fact that he had said, I have no choice but to abandon the pro-Israel cause. I just watched them all lie because I needed to see where all the stakes were. These are weird lies.
Yeah.
One thing that connects all of these lies is faith. So that's where the focus of my investigation is right now. And I'm coming up, looking and going, all of these characters are dirty that were around him. So you're not going to hold up a Bible like a false prophet and tell me not to look here, or else I'm going to be condemned to hell. Because let me tell you how the Bible works, okay? Christ is king. What that means is truth is king. And if anybody is using the Bible to tell you not to pursue truth, you are dealing with somebody who is manipulating you.
Who do you think, I guess, I know you said the people around him, but who do you think is the most responsible? Why would they want him gone?
I think Charlie was not allowed to be anything but a Christian Zionist. And he was changing in the last few weeks. When I look at the timeline that I put together, some weird stuff, this Egyptian plane that was started tracking him, everything began ratcheting up after Tucker Carlson hit the stage. And
in July.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I was there for that. Yeah.
That
pissed him off.
That was a something.
Yeah.
So I think Charlie was done. As Megan showed the video, he was telling Tucker to go max. All of the things that they lied about, we've now proven. And why were they lying about it? This is the thing. Why lie if you have nothing to cover up? That's my common sense here. You only lie because you have something to cover up. No matter what the lie is you only lie because there's something that you're hiding. So if they had all come out right when Charlie died, If Seth Dillon, who pressed Charlie in the Hamptons, was like, oh my gosh, my biggest regret is the last time I saw Charlie, I was being such a jerk about the Israel. They were so stupid. And this is a reminder that you never know when you're going to see somebody last. It would have been like, oh, okay, nothing to see here. It was like a full court press effort to lie about everything. Josh Hammer, he never blinked on Israel. He was on the text message chain where Charlie said 48 hours before he died that he was done with the pro-Israel cause. Why lie? That's my question. And I don't like the silence from Turning Point employees. I know for a fact one of them, who I'm not going to name, has a text message from Charlie the day before he died saying, they are going to kill me.
Wow.
Now, he was not referring to the lobby when he wrote that message.
Yeah.
If you are his friend and you're interested in the truth, why wouldn't you tell the public that? Wouldn't you just come right out to the public and say, hey, I don't know what happened, but like Charlie thought they were going to kill him. I do not like the way Turning Point is behaving. I've made that clear. And nobody is going to emotionally manipulate me and tell me that it's all good now. And to attack Turning Point would be to attack his legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie told me years ago that he had, which I shared the messages, he was having a ton of visions and was telling me that Turning Point was going to be the death of him. He knew he was going to die young and strangely knew that I was going to be the only person to defend him. Right. I showed the messages.
Yeah.
I showed the messages.
They tried to say it was fake and you pulled it up and yeah.
We're here now. And I'm going to defend him. I'm going to figure out what happened.
What are your thoughts on how Erica Kirk has been dealing with this and some of the people that are close to him, his manager, Mike and all them? Like, do you think they're just playing a role? Do you think they're involved? What are your thoughts on them in general? Some of the people in his closest circle.
It is obvious to me that Mikey McCoy was the person that they wanted to launch as the new Charlie. That's very obvious. The way they brought his YouTube channel back with a speech from Mikey, and everyone was kind of trying to soft sell Mikey to us and was like, who's this kid? You're 23. Why are you the chief of staff of anything? Who are you actually? And you're brought in by Rob, your dad, who is dirty. I mean, very dirty guy. I covered more of that yesterday. He just gives me the sleaze and the ick. And it just is very strange. I felt like they tried to manipulate us into accepting this, almost like they had like, Mikey's going to be this person. Then we see Mikey, he's a hero, and he just walks away right after somebody. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. And yeah, you know, with Erica, a lot of people on the internet have been going into her past, going into her parents' past, and, you know, just speaking about these things.
Israel defense contractors, parents, stuff like that.
Yeah, I've seen all of that. I respond to that on my show. And what I've said to everybody is I'm starting with what happened on that day, what happened leading up to his assassination. And the people that catch my attention are people who are telling verifiable lies. Okay. Erica thus far has not told any verifiable lies. She did not lie about the fact that he had St. Michael on him when he died. So there's two things. She could be on autopilot, and some people could be reading that the wrong way and thinking, oh, well, like she's not acting right. Okay. Is she on autopilot because she fears something? Right. Again, we don't know what's happening behind the scenes, but you have to have some level of fear if you watch somebody get assassinated. I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah.
And so people have been upset with me for not going down the rabbit hole on my show about Erica's parents. People's parents are people's parents. They haven't yet come up in my investigation. If I find out that her parents were involved, and then it's going to catch my investigation. And there's nobody that will be spared once they come up, once they tell a lie, once I come across something. I just literally have not come across anything with Frank Turek. Also, I haven't come across anything with Erica in my investigation. So.
The shooter or the alleged shooter, you think they're a patsy?
Of course, they're a patsy. I mean, come on. It's so dumb. He wasn't even on campus that day. They can't show us one clear image, not even one. All of these cameras, Turning Point has everything in 4K. So shouldn't you have caught the shooter on the roof in 4K? Like, you had cameras everywhere that day. Every inch of that campus is covered. So do you think that
was someone else that was running across?
Absolutely.
It wasn't Tyler?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Someone that just sprinted. I don't even know if there was a person that sprinted that day, because everyone's forgetting there was also a news report that came out week before that somebody was on the roof. A professor came out and waved the person. Now, they may have been dropping off a gun, dropping off a screwdriver. I don't know.
Because there's one video, like one of the students had panned out where he was running. But that person who took
that video that I had to track down, military.
Really?
Everybody's military in the story.
Really? So the person that captured that, because I remember when it first broke out, that cell phone footage got released where the shot goes off and for some odd reason he's looking at the roof and you see like a little speck running on the top. So that person that took that video was military.
I got in touch with the person and they didn't put the video up themselves. I had to go through 3 people. I'm like, so I'm supposed to believe you're like a college kid and you have nothing to do with anything. You just decide to randomly like be like, oh, I got this video, but I'm gonna send it through 3 people to have it released.
Interesting.
And also the Losey building where the shot definitely did not come from is the only place on campus that houses, I believe on the 3rd floor, according to my source, like the military something is in the Losey building. So there's a lot happening. That all of that was just a show to mask who the real shooter was. I think it's way more likely that the shooter was in the audience or to the side of the audience. I think that's the more likely story because he wasn't shot with a 30-06 first and foremost, and the bullet did not destroy his neck. I know that for a fact. And he actually...
30-06 throws everybody off. But
that was their plan.
Yeah.
Until I accidentally, which I didn't even process it at the time, revealed that the bullet didn't go through.
Yeah.
And then they kind of were like, oh, it was just a miracle. Actually, it was no 30-06.
Yeah, the text messages are a bit strange too. And, this whole situation, like, I wish the government was being a bit more transparent because this has an incredible amount of public interest. So it's like, look, dude, you guys probably should be more transparent on this because government trust is down at its lowest when it comes to people trusting law enforcement, whatever. What are your thoughts on how the FBI and the state police are handling this in general? Because I know you've been critical of Kash
Patel. I think what's way
Patel.
more important is trusting Alexis Wilkins as a sensational singer and the people like
be careful, she might sue you.
Like, I don't want to talk about like the feds right now. Like they're doing what they have to. The more important thing is that this sensational country singer is left alone. We are just not a serious nation. I mean, I think if Putin's FBI director put that out, Putin would just quietly have him assassinated or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we're just not a serious nation. That is just, they are tweeting like girls on TikTok right now. And it's embarrassing. It is so embarrassing. He should have been forced to resign. Trump should have made him resign for embarrassing us because there's no way Putin's not laughing with his homies right now about that tweet. My girlfriend, my life partner.
Yeah.
We are...
She sued a bunch of people. It's crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And obviously with his blessing. Obviously with his blessing, or you would say, hey, honey, not now.
Yeah,
right?
like this is a bad time.
This is a bad time. I've got to be taken as a serious man.
Optically, yeah.
Yeah. And of course, the opposite thing happens now where everyone's now calling her a honeypot. And so what's she going to do? Like whack-a-mole, just sue everybody on the internet who's making a joke, sue Tim Dillon or something?
Yeah, it's absolutely nuts. So it'd be fair to say, so you don't believe the official narrative, and I do agree with you, there's a lot of problems with it, right? Between a 30-06, why don't we have the full footage of him taking the shot, then running off? You're only showing him running. The text messages are strange.
They don't even show us him taking the shot.
Yeah,
that seems like a pretty easy thing to do.
That's one of my biggest issues is they didn't show him taking a shot, but they have him running across the roof. So it's like, how do you not have him prone shooting the shot? So, and I know you're still investigating and figuring everything out, but if you could kind of give me a quick summary, what do you think transpired in that day? Who do you think is responsible? Maybe a rough timeline. I know you're still filling parts in, but from what you have so far, what do you think?
So this is a guess, and this is just like, if I had to guess right now where I'm at, and I think Tyler Robinson's only contribution was that he had his prints on the gun. I know that his prints were not the only prints that were on the gun, which is something that they haven't been honest about.
Okay.
I would suspect that
the
his only role...
DNA on that too and stuff.
Yeah, I think Lance Twiggs is much more involved. I don't think he took the shot either, but I think he's more involved. I think that Tyler Robinson's, all of the people that were involved that day got swept up in stuff. From George Zinn, the guy that cheered, his father's also the guy next. I mean, the whole thing is like, it was an operation with blackmailed people.
And the Zinn guy was at 9/11 too. Weird.
Yeah. I mean, just unbelievable. And again, more of a marker that this was like a blackmail operation. Also, Zinn told a nurse that he was being paid. He didn't know how he was going to be paid for doing that after. So he was supposed to be another patsy. And
yeah, because it was like immediate. Like he got like when this all broke out, he got arrested and he was like, it was out in the news like immediately.
Multiple people involved that day. One person maybe just supposed to run across the rooftop. Another, I think Tyler Robinson, all his job was to pick up clothes. I think literally he didn't set foot on campus that day. And his job was to get rid of the clothes next to the Dairy Queen into some cemetery, which I broke. And the FBI is not disputed, but they decided to monitor the Dairy Queen afterwards and send some feds there. Yeah, so his role was to pick up clothes. I think Lance is actually the one that's walking in the backpack but
the TMZ footage?
The maroon, yep. I think that's Lance.
The TMZ footage,
and I don't know who was walking up the stairs. I think that's a whole different person because they don't even look like they have the same body.
Okay.
And yeah, that's how you do a nice feather operation. You got a bunch of patsies doing different roles.
And they didn't show us the video of the stairway footage either, which is another thing that's strange.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, no, I mean, and I said it before, they've created more questions than answers,
right?
Which is obviously the problem here.